You want me to check?
Gosh, David.
Double check real quick. Make sure the volume's fine.
Can somebody grab
What?
You don't want it to be a 7. Congratulations, 18. Just stop. Okay.
Yep. Sure.
And I got 6.
6.
Shalom, shalom. Wow. We are the real Hebrew Israelites coming at you week in, week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, aka America, and the coming of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. And we're going to face the East and give all praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ba'ahagash.
Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. And can you break out the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7, Baba Pashah?
This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7. I start at verse 6. It says, "And the Lord thy power will circumcise thy heart, and the heart of thy seed, to love the Lord thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee."
That's right. And that's what you're starting to see now. You're starting to see Yahweh Bashim Yahushua flip. You know, you're starting to see these other nations who have lived so prosperously starting to go through the beginnings of their sorrows.
Yeah.
You know, you're starting to realize, you're starting to see, you know, these other nations crying for help, you know, a form of salvation, a form of relief, you know, especially of the house of Esau Edom, because right now they are the biggest enemies of the nation of Israel. And now what you're starting to see is that they're starting to go through it. They're starting to go through hard economic times. They don't know how they're going to make it.
Yeah.
You know, you hear about these things online, you know, you see them cry, you see them, you know, rant and rave, you know, that's why so you're starting to see them doing these things. And you're also starting to see the Israelite woman do these things as well. So all of the curses that had befallen us are starting to roll back on them, you know? And Eve, being that she's made her bed with Esau Edom, she's going to go through it as well, you know? But in the kingdom, she'll be in her right mind, and, you know, all will be called to all, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Can somebody break out Haggai 1 and 6?
Yeah, this is the book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 6. It says, "Ye have so much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it in a bag with holes."
God, isn't that what we went through? Isn't that what we're still going through?
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is we've learned to so-called adapt to being in a low state. You know, we've learned how to make $1 out of 15 cents. Remember that? You know? So, I mean, we've learned how to, you know, make ends meet. So even in bad times, to us, it's not as bad because we've always been this way, you know, in our captivity. You know? We went from rags to raggedier, you know?
Yeah, remember when I brought out last week about the recession?
Mm-hmm.
What was that, 08?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Esau went crazy. But Jigsaw, like you said, Jigsaw used to being at that low state. It was just another day for us.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about how wicked this man runs his kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
We get the low of the low.
Yeah.
And then when we get our paycheck, you tax on tax on tax. So we only seen 1/3 of our earnings. You know what I mean?
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like you look at your check, man. You like, yo, why are you taking so much $400 out for taxes?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's the holes right there.
Yeah.
Depending on where you go to try to get a roof and board over your head,
Mm-hmm.
they'll raise the interest rate if you got too much melanin.
And that's true too.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta deal with a lot, but like the brother said, we naturally adjusted. You know, you got to realize from the beginning we were in subjection. Hey, when the Lord stepped on the scene, we was under Roman subjection. You know what I mean? So we're used to that. We're going to make. Hey, the scriptures say the meek shall inherit the earth. So that's an indicator right there. Overall, as a people, who's who? You know what I mean? You got to go up.
Yeah, Con. I mean, those are very good points. You know what I'm saying? It's because when what 07, 08 was going on, you know what I'm saying, and that so-called recession was going on. It wasn't a so-called recession. It was actually a fucking recession. When that was going on, you didn't see Jake crying and moaning. Who you saw doing that?
Esau was jumping out of the windows of their building.
Yeah,
and in the light because they money plummeted. I guess they savings was from I don't know what.
All done.
But like you said to us, we was like, what the fuck going on?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. This motherfucker's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, people was literally ending their life. Esau was jumping out of his. They love they built his high. They jumping out of their whatever story, ending it.
Face first.
Oh, that's crazy.
Bullseye.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, remember down in the courts of Virginia Beach, that was he appeared to be actually. When he went in there in the court and started shooting, you don't remember all the Virginia Beach courts?
Nah.
Yeah, he was working. Somebody said something. He went home, got loaded up, and came in there and started clapping everybody.
Hang on, I missed that one.
It was around not too far after the recession.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the people gonna lose it. But the main people who are really gonna lose it are the ones who are heavily invested in this wicked kingdom. And who's more heavily invested than Esau Edom in his own kingdom?
Yeah.
Rightfully so. He was taught, if you work hard, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, you would be able to get your house and your white picket fence, and life would be beautiful, But what are they seeing now? They're seeing their 401ks get diminished. Hell, a lot of them don't even have a 401k anymore because of how bad the system is financially that they started using that. A lot of them are screwing up their credit, because now it's at the point where it's so bad that you can use credit to buy food. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them are taking advantage of that. Here it is, you can make 6 figures and still struggle every day.
Is that not crazy?
That is very crazy. You can make 6 figures and still not make ends meet. So a family of 4 where, you're making 6 figures, which back in the day was what called lower middle class.
Ain't no more of that.
Nah, come on, no more of that shit. They're struggling.
It's either the haves or the have-nots now.
Yep.
Because that's crazy. And you know what? Hey, the water y'all Bashem Slaki, the water y'all Bashem y'all shot for keeping us on a straight arrow. You know what I mean? Because the more money you make, you put yourself in more expensive situations. I should say. You go into a higher tax bracket.
Yes.
And then when you start to make more, you want a better car, you want a bigger house. So that means more financial responsibility.
Yeah.
So that might be the Lord protecting us anyway, because we get in there and then something happens. That make our cross heavier than it has to be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because a wise man would know how to manage his money. A wise man would know, okay, I'm making so much money not to over exceed my lifestyle. That's why a modest living is a good thing, especially in these times.
Thank you. That's my point.
A very modest living is really good in these times, because all we need is enough to eat, and a roof over our head, Lord's will.
That's it.
Come on, you got it, bro.
This is Philippians chapter 3 and verse 12. It says, I know both how to be abased and I know how to be abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry,
Mm.
both to be abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Hamashiach, Yahushua, which strengthens me. You know, so the scriptures teach us, you know, how to be content with godliness. You know, we read First Timothy the 6th chapter. It speaks about how a particular individual, like, you know, men out here, whether they be in these various different camps or just in the world, man, where they think because they have all these different resources and so on and so forth, it makes them godly, makes them holy. No, that's not what makes you godly and holy. It's what you do, you know, with your life according to the scriptures. You may be blessed with particular things, but at the end of the day, the Lord giving you all these, you know, particular resources, and that's why you have to, you know what I'm saying, take that with a grain of salt and realize all this shit is not permanent. It be taken away from you. So that's why Apostle Paul was saying, look, I know how to be a base. I know how I'm the same person whether if I'm up or if I'm down. My faith don't change regardless of whatever type of lifestyle that I'm living.
Mhm.
You know?
Kind of like to speak on that because we live in a society where they push, you know, a whole bunch of gaining like the next best thing,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, get the next. It's
Next
like every
best phone.
year another phone come out, another car come out.
Yeah.
And it's like they try to keep you, you know, they want to keep you focused on gaining and everything in this world, and you know, and that's in this world what make it look like you doing good in this world. You continue to stay with the latest and the greatest and everything. You know, that's why. You know, we need to learn how to, like, you know, being a base and being a bound is what's going to keep us level-headed. You know, because most people, they ready to crash out just because they can't keep up with their neighbors and
Keep on
everything.
the Joneses.
You know, they start feeling like they're some loser and everything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, J. Cole in that song Love Yours spoke on that. Always gonna be a car that's nicer than yours. Always gonna be a house bigger than yours. You know what I'm saying?
Always gonna be a woman look better than yours.
Yeah, always gonna be a woman that look. And you're right, because that's what Esau's Kingdom programs us to want the next new hotness. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, you get a car, you happy, then the new car come out, you like, you ain't got that though. So now you chase it. Damn, I want that. That's the wrong mentality to have. You know, be happy with the Lord, and that's what another reason why this truth is so beautiful. Because when you come in this truth, I don't care if you come from a flashy past and you always had it. The truth will tell you to sit the hell down and just relax and watch what's going on instead of being in the circus. You actually watching the circus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why, you know, we was talking about yesterday, man. Easy day for Jake, man. Some music, some food on, and we straight. We don't need all that extra shit, man.
No.
You know what I mean? We don't need. I mean, of course, jewelry's nice, clothes nice. That's cool. But if that's not your lot, we ain't sweating it, man. You know what I mean? We getting into the stones, you know, herbs, healing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Speaking of, you know what I mean? But hey, the water y'all Bashem y'all shot. You spot on, bro.
Yeah, it's Matthew 6:21. It says, "For where your treasure is, there is your heart be also." So you know that's why our treasure need to be, you know, holding on to this truth, holding on to this word and everything, you know, and not get so caught up on this materialistic things, you know, which, like the brother said, is gonna just perish. It's vanity.
Yeah, Connor, that's a good segue into another point because a lot of people have made their treasures. A lot of people have made their treasures here in heaven. You know, because this is Esau Edom's heaven. This is his. So this is where his treasure is, or this is where his mind is. You know, so when he starts to see the degradation of what their forefathers have built start to fade away, they got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? And they've never been the type of people to take, you know, the blame. You know, they always like to blame other things, other situations, other people for their shortcomings, not realizing that, you know, it's ordained of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that you were going to fall anyway. You know, so when they have no hope in any other thing other than, let's say, their constitution, their Bill of Rights, their judicial system, or even their fellowship, when they start to see these things fall apart, they have nothing. And that's what you're witnessing.
Yeah, by saying that's when they fall back into their nature and they ready to they're gonna kill and destroy and everything. And that's where, like, you know, we see that's going on now. You know, from the squeeze getting put on them and everything. You know, all of these Edomites, you know, on social media, they ready to they're gonna, you know, end this place. You know,
those are the ones that actually come out and say something about it.
Mhm.
Then you
Yeah.
got those that don't come out and say anything about how they
But
really
still
feel
for
about
that
Jay.
one, yeah. Still for that
You
one.
know what I'm saying? So that's why the scriptures say, "Never trust thine enemy." For like as iron rusteth, so
So it's
does
wicked.
yeah.
Yeah, because look at his judicial system.
Mm-hmm.
You got Esau murdering Jake time and time again, and they get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got this kid, Carmelo Anthony. He stabbed the Edomite, one of the twin brothers. Now the video is coming out. See, this is how crafty and cunning he is.
Mm-hmm.
Under his kingdom, his judicial system is set up for him. But when proof comes out, they got to do certain wicked shit. So you can clearly see that they only showed a 2-minute video one, but then they got 11-minute video. The people that see an 11-minute video is seeing a clear version of how these kids walked up on him,
Mm-hmm.
attacked him,
Mm-hmm.
but they're only putting the edited 2-minute clip
Mm-hmm.
of him running out and running off. This is E's system. He wants to paint a certain picture, but now so much is coming out, like you said, E is starting to crack. You know what I mean? Because look how wicked this is. The twin kid father, the twin that got killed, their father is best friends with the DA and the judge. They got the picture of them all together.
Here's the crazy shit. I think I heard or read somewhere that the judge that judged that case quit or some shit.
No, I think one of the lawyers quit. Wasn't it one of the lawyers that quit?
I'm not sure. I got to find out.
But if he did quit, that's because they pulled the picture. They in the house chilling, arms around each other.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? This is East Kingdom, man. He
Yeah,
really
He's
has.
on trial and everything like that.
No, he got sentenced 35 years.
Wow.
They gave the 17-year-old kid. Well, he's a young man, but 35 years. I mean, it was stupid for him. Hey, it's all over the law, I should say. But he had a knife on the track me. I didn't understand that. But they went to jump him and he poked one of them.
So did he run and go retrieve the knife?
No, he ran out. He already had it on him. It was raining, so they was under the tent. He was under the other team's tent. So them boys, I mean, they walked up on him. They knew what they was doing. They tried pressing him. And you see one push, but like I said, the video's so edited because of Esau. They want to paint this picture that
He's the
Jake is just a murderer. Because that's what they said. He just popped off on him and just stabbed him and then ran.
yeah, but then they don't never do anything when it pertains to these police officers blatantly just murdering Jake.
And that's my point right there. East Kingdom is set up for them to continuously have their foot on their neck. But we're in the times where he's being exposed, and his cleanup act is getting real messy. You know what I mean? So these other, and then look, they got other pictures of other kids videotaping what actually when it started happening. But you can't find these videos now.
Of course you can.
Nah, but this is E. That's what I'm saying. It's so smart. Well, being in this truth, we sit back and pull ourselves out of the circus and watch what's actually going on, man.
Let me get a correction on that. Judge John Roach did not quit. He's retiring from the bench at the end of 2026.
He getting up out of it. He getting up out of there.
He's on his way out. What do they call that shit? You know, I give the yeah, right. You know what I'm saying, he gave a fucking
Resignation.
nah.
But yeah, but that look, 26. We halfway through 26.
Yeah, right. He's on his way out. You know. So he patted his buddy on the back, said, "I got you." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll never see the light of day.
Yeah.
It's all gravy, baby. So even their judicial system is fucked towards you, Jakes.
Yep.
You know?
It might send somebody in there to do him while he in prison.
Yeah, come on. I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? They talk about shit like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm
See,
saying?
I do pay a raggedy nigga that got life.
Yeah.
You know, they pull him in the warden's office. Hey man, do this.
Yeah, I heard the Edomite online. He was saying that he gonna put money on anybody books, whoever that put hands to that boy.
See,
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
Like saying, hey,
He got a bounty on his head already
yeah.
for protecting himself. You know what I'm saying? But that's how you know that this kingdom is just wicked. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, their wickedness is falling upon their own head.
Yeah.
You know?
Messy.
Because they're starting to see the shit that we went through. Remember that shit a few years ago when that Edomite got dropped at the fucking airport by the cops, and you know he was like,
"Oh yeah, you treat me like I'm black."
Yeah, right. You know, that's what they're starting to go through on a.
They tased them.
Yeah, right. What, you treat me like a? Yeah, bro. This is the fall of your kingdom. This is the end as you know it, but you just don't fucking know it. You see it, you know, and that's another thing in the scriptures. It says, "He shall no longer carry thee into captivity."
I was going there.
Oh, come on, bro.
You can see
Get it, bring it out, because, and I know you got something, but when you think about it, they're trying to set up a system to put Jake in captivity all over again.
Yeah.
Their entire system now is to say, okay, we need to put these so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans back into captivity to make this place great again. But Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has a different plan for you, Jake. Go ahead, you can bring out what you got.
This is 2 Thessalonians 1:6. It says, "Seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you."
No, not my Beavis. My Beavis is all good, you know?
All love.
Yeah, right, you know? I feel as though you should, you know, do unto others as others do unto you. But hold on a second. Scriptures say different. Go ahead, you got it, brother.
It says, "And to you who are troubled, rest with us when the Lord Yahweh shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels."
Who are the troubled ones? Who are the troubled ones? You know? Who's going to rest with the prophets? The elect. 2/3 don't care about this. The elect are the ones that's going to rest with the prophets. The elect is going to seek Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah. Everyone else and everything else don't matter. You know? You got something to say on that?
Yeah, that's all I was saying, because the Lord says it's a righteous thing for him to recompense tribulation on them that trouble us. So that's what we witnessing right now. You know, the tables are slowly starting to turn, and it's just getting heated up. You know, the Lord, you know, as far as like them starting to feel the judgment and everything, because at the end of the day, everything that's about to be done is going to benefit like the ones that's resting with Yahweh Shai, and that's like the hopeful elect and the prophets and everything. So, like the brother said, we just need to just sit back and just wait on the Lord and just watch this, you know, recompense, you know, take place.
Yeah, come on. Yahweh Shai said, "Wait ye upon me until I rise up to the plate."
Yeah.
We ain't going to do nothing. We just stand back with our popcorn and enjoying the show and waiting patiently for our Savior to come and deliver it.
Because this ain't our kingdom.
We're not fighting on no race. We're not doing none of that.
Nope.
What the Lord said, if this was my kingdom, my servants would fight. So we fighting just spiritual. Because right now, you, like you said, brother, you could just feel the tension. And, you know, I think what started it, little bit of light to it was the spark. Yeah, the little spark to it was DJT with the red hat, pushing that old feeling for them, make America great again.
Yeah, that was.
You know what I mean? And you think about all them dumbass Edomites, they just voting for him just off of that push. Because a lot of them, when they were being interviewed, they didn't know why they couldn't point out any good points what they liked about DJT. It's just that he wanted to go back to when we were on the low, like, you know.
Yeah, right.
You know, a little scared, timid. You know what I mean? That's what they want. You know, and you speak about Native Americans and so-called Hispanics. The Native Americans, for the most part, they already shackled up. They on a reservation, drunk out their mind, docile. That you know, you really don't see too many true gad out. You know what I mean by knowing that they're gad. You don't see them like that no more because they already say they threw the talent already. But who's going to rouse the tribes up first? The tribe of Judah. So this is all prophetic. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Issachar on them. They don't, as long as they scared too because of ice. But you know, you give them a hammer and nails, they cool because they gonna go build their house, come home, get that 8-ball, get that Modelo, and chill. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, Judah, we gotta go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And you're seeing that.
Yeah.
You're actually seeing that with Judah. Yeah. Judah's like, yo, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if Judah's off with whatever, you can see that zeal popping out though. You know, they might not believe exactly the truth. Yeah. But you see them starting to read, starting to be on point. You know, but hold on, hey, you see them? I seen a TikTok of a little, looked like a Judite dyke. She dyke, but she was like, hold on, this man been lying to us about the times, everything. Like she was spazzing out. So this is the beginning of the pendulum swinging the other way. So,
that's right. Yeah, okay. You got that, brother?
This is Lamentations chapter 4, and I'll start at verse 21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, Edom, not Eden, Salaki. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sin." Right? And essentially those sins that were that's being discovered or being brought out, it's the transgressions that he did against the nation of Israel. Okay? Edom as a whole nation has literally committed so many different atrocities, crimes, unsolved murders, right? Unsolved cases, right? The poison, the particular things he put in off, everything as a whole, man. What this devil has done, man, all right? He's going to be get judgment for that, man. He's not getting away with what he got away with, man. You know, and that's essentially why he has to have double, because of everything that he's did. He constantly thinks that he's getting away with it, but the Lord is allowing him to run up that tab so he can get judged, man. And he's going to be in that in nakedness and wickedness and so on and so forth, like we read in Deuteronomy 30th chapter, pursuant to the curses being put on him. Curses are slowly being lifted up off of us to be put on him. I got another precept about me.
No, you got it, brother.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 14. It says, "I know that whatsoever the Most High doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. And the Most High doeth it, that men should fear before him. That which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been. The Most High required that which is past." And all the things that happened in the past that this damn devil has done, the Lord is going to require that of him, man. The Lord didn't forget how these niggas didn't let us through the border when we was fled out of Egypt, right? The Lord didn't forget about 70 AD and the Hellenization period, and during the time of, you know, the what was the Medo-Persian Empire, when that nigga Haman was trying to persecute Mordecai and the Israelites. And so the Lord didn't forget about any of those particular things, man. And he damn sure didn't forget about all the atrocities that happened here in Babylon the Great, man. You know?
Race it.
Yeah. So, hey, with that being said, hey, the Lord is going to judge your ass, man, according to the scripture.
Yeah, right. You know, how is it? So that's another thing that these Babylonians are starting to realize. They're starting to realize that, water for that, and they're starting to realize that their kingdom that they built is a kingdom based on lies. Its entire foundation is built on lies, bloodshed, slavery. Let's not even talk about the level of cannibalism. You know, let's not talk about the level of rape. You know, Moism. All of this shit has built the foundation of a kingdom that needs to be destroyed by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And it will be by nuclear destruction. Because hey man, this place is just done. Grab that in the book of Revelations 18, from Bishop.
This is Revelations 18:4. It says, "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people."
Come out of her. Come out of this place spiritually. You know, that don't mean, you know, you go out and you grab yourself a fucking passport and deport yourself to another fucking country. No, come out of her spiritually. You know, get out of the whoredoms of this place. You know, stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, repent. That's it. Repent. You know, go ahead.
"Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins."
Because if you're of this world, you will get destroyed with this world. You know, the last thing I want is to get Esau's judgment as an Israelite. You know, and a lot of Israelites are going to get that. Just two-thirds are going to get the judgments of Esau and these other nations.
If I'm not.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, because that's a twofold scripture right there. You know, that's essentially talking about being saved by the chariots. But, you know, in order to be delivered, is of course, it's of Yahweh Shah. But we got to maneuver a certain way so we can be saved. You know what I mean? Well, we can't. We have no choice, but we say we're the hopeful elect, so we continue to move a certain way to pray that the Yahweh Shem Yahshua has favor in us. But that's talking about the actual physical chariots coming to deliver us.
And it is.
Yeah.
And it is. And with that comes our salvation.
Mm-hmm.
The salvation of the elect.
Yep.
Yeah, because speaking on that, because being of the hopeful elect, we're gonna be in the spirit and of the mind of the of this kingdom, new kingdom to come. So we literally not gonna be we living in this world, but our spirit is not with this world.
So, yeah, love not the world.
But yeah, continuing it says,
If I can ask Salaki, I know he's about to read that, but it essentially made me think about in Revelation, where it speaks about did not worship the beast. What does that go into? That essentially goes into that you comply or you pretty much abide by the philosophies and the things that's going on in this world. Meaning you agree with it. You're in allegiance with America. No, we're in allegiance with Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. We're devoted to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. We're not with anything that this damn devil pushes as far as his folly days, right? His wickedness, his witchcraft, his sorcery.
Ain't today a family day?
Yeah.
A whole bunch of grown men getting a damn screwdriver or a hammer.
Yeah, some socks.
Oh, damn, it is.
Today's Father's Day, right?
Oh,
So some socks. My bad.
Yeah. So with that being said, man, that's why we move on as a different spirit. We're not of the spirit of the world, man. That's why the world hated us, man. Because we're not of the world. You got it out.
Yeah. I know you read it, son, but I just want to land back. Speaking of these folly days, now we just had Juneteenth. And Jake always just want to celebrate something. You see these shirts with Juneteenth and then Africa on top of it.
I saw that dumb shit.
Like, but Jake don't even consider this. Juneteenth has nothing to do with Africa.
Not at all.
It's supposed to be dealing with so-called American slaves, right? But they got the and look, they got the colors wrong. Of course, they got the red, black, and green. But Juneteenth colors ain't even red, black, and green. But Jake is so in a docile state of mind, they just know, this is another reason to cook out and celebrate. And you don't even know what you celebrated. You know what I mean?
Bro, I'm at the plantation and this Eve has a Juneteenth shirt with a Jake girl with like braids.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
I'm like, look at this shit. So I wanted to say, do you understand what the fuck that means?
Oh,
that's basically what that shirt basically means is they told you that you were so-called emancipated, but they kept you in slavery for another fucking 2 years or whatever.
Yep.
Why the fuck are you celebrating that dumb shit?
But Jake, and you give Jake a day to celebrate, and then you say it's about them. You can't tell Jake that. Yeah,
right. That's like shit. You gotta get a day off.
Yo, they had fucking. They ain't going. But they fucking around. Just had for Juneteenth. They had all these little concerts and all that.
Fireworks.
Yeah, fireworks like overtime, I believe.
And Waterside.
In Waterside.
Yep.
It's so crazy, Jake.
You ask Jake. If you ask Jake, hey, you consider yourself Black African American, and they be like, yeah. You like, okay, what part of Africa you from?
Yeah, damn.
Niggas don't
know. But it's essentially like when you give your little kid a new toy, it keeps them busy for a little bit. That's how E is doing Jake. Hey, I'm giving you a day. You know what I mean? Here. You know what I'm saying?
He love you.
Yeah, because, hey, bro, Jake is just looking for some sort of so-called fairness in a wicked kingdom that lied to him about about his existence.
There you go.
You know?
They want a piece of that pie.
A gift destroyed the heart, man. That's all I give. Just like when during the pandemic, like most Jake to shut up as long as this man start giving out stimulus packages and everything. That's why I know, like, when it's time to take that chip and everything, they're gonna be with it.
You already know.
Money. If I take this, I'm getting money every month.
Exactly.
They gotta be with it, man.
Like, you mean 50,000 in my account today?
Exactly.
If I get this shit,
you mean this is all I gotta do?
Exactly. Man. That's why all of them gonna be with it.
All my records gonna be clean. My credit score gonna be, man.
A gift destroyed the heart.
Give me that. I need that.
Mm-hmm.
Jake gonna think it's the come up.
And then Jake gonna want to be the first one on it. You know, Jake want to be the first one with that new shit. Yo, look what I got, yo.
Yeah.
I've been started this shit. I've been
Y'all niggas late.
I had my shit.
Following me when I been started this trip.
I gave my dog that shit.
Yeah.
I bet your chip don't do this.
Yeah, word up. Yeah,
That's how Jake gonna be.
yeah, your chip don't ring.
Yeah. I can answer my phone. Hello.
Yeah.
Jake
Yeah,
gonna
right.
be on that shit.
It's almost like that Key and Peele skit with like the hat. Jake had the basic hat
I ain't seen
They
it.
kept trying to outdo each other.
with the hats.
Yeah.
That's how Jake's gonna be with the chips.
Yo, Cat Williams brought that out. That was kind of prophetic. He called it a tongue phone. You don't remember stand up?
Nah, I don't.
He's like, yo, if they make the phone so small, you're gonna be able to have it on your tongue. You in the middle conversation, hello? You know what I mean? but that's basically the shit. You know what I mean?
No, it's a 9, not a 7.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a 9. Yeah. Well, try it. If it doesn't work, call me back. We'll figure this thing out.
yo, y'all funny.
Oh, you got that.
But yeah, that's just how wicked this devil is in his kingdom. Go ahead, bro.
Continuing back in Revelation 18 and 4.
Start over.
Yeah, I just started over. It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins,
Yeah.
and that ye receive not of her plagues.
Yeah.
For her sins have reached unto heaven,
Yeah.
and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities.
Yeah, because that's physically talking about how the Israelites are going to be delivered out of America, speaking about the elect. The spiritual one is that's in Micah 2 and 10, where you have to spiritually depart from this place. We have to physically depart from this place, but unless you want to partake of the judgments that the brother was speaking about, that Esau, the other nations, and America is going to receive via the nuclear missiles, man. And you don't want to be a part of that. So the first stages of that will consist of Micah 2 and 10. Reading, praying, calling upon the names of the Lord, doing your lessons, and if you're not a prophet, hey, the whole post. You know what I'm saying? Help brothers out, give alms, charity, whatever it is. You had, during the time of Yahushua, you had pretty much Pharisees that will come at night just to sup with the Lord and ask questions about the scriptures or breaking things down. Like you had secret disciples, man. Hey, hey, what's that scripture? The one who give a prophet a cool drink, receive a prophet's reward. You know. So with that being said, man, hey, you're gonna be saved by your faith, not by works. Yeah, we out here doing work because we believe, but you're not saved by works, man. You're saved by faith and grace, man.
Yeah.
You got to be chosen. You know, you got many people that did the work and fell out. You think they're gonna know? You know what I'm saying? So you just got to take that in consideration and pray and hope that the Lord make you the elect or that you are the elect. You know, you got it.
Continuing. Yeah, it says, verse 6, it says,
You got it.
Revelation 18 and 6, it says, reward her even as she rewarded you.
Did you read 5?
Yeah, that was for her sins.
Okay.
Revelation 18 and 6, it says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works
God.
in the cup.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is the fate that we went through, or the judgment that we went through, is going to be nothing in comparison to what Esau Edom's going to go through. You know, starting on this side, they're going to start to feel what it was like when we started going through shit. You know, that's why you're starting to see a lot of these Edomites complain about this, complain about that, and not having enough of this, not having enough of that, losing this and losing that, and wondering why you Jakes are driving far better cars than they are. You know, because that hatred towards Jake is being built up. You know, read that again, please. Verse 6.
Revelation 18 and 6, it says, reward her even as she rewarded you.
Khan, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to reward her even as she has rewarded us. You know, those those curses that we went through, they're going to be rewarded with it, starting on this side. And that's what you're seeing, that reward. You know, that judgment their beginnings of sorrows. You know? Go ahead.
Yeah, and speaking on that, like some of the things that this devil has really done to us, we don't even really know the full exact, like, measurement of wickedness he's done to our people. No. So when the Lord put all that back into our remembrance, but continuing on, it says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works.
So when we went through shit in this place, in the kingdom, you're going to receive double. You're going to receive twice as much punishment as we did.
Yeah, righteously.
Yeah, righteous judgment. You know, we ain't going to turn around and do some
wicked ass, make you sleep, put a bag over your head, make you sleep with your mother. What type of?
Yeah,
that is a wicked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yo, just there's certain movies I don't watch because I know how I'm gonna feel if I go out into the workforce. The next I'm serious. I still ain't watching all the 12 Years a Slave, yo.
I still ain't watched that.
I started getting too upset.
You gotta watch it on a Friday.
Yeah.
You gotta have Sunday.
That's one thing.
Saturday to recover.
Hey, that's one thing. Correct. When I first came into crossed over, and we were talking movies, like, yo, don't watch that on no Sunday or during the week. Watch that. That's exactly what he was saying. Watch it like on Friday. Or Saturday.
The Good Bye Tom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. See, that's me. I start getting. Like I told y'all last week, even as a little jit, I ain't fuck with E, yo. Because they was weird to me, the way they moved. And this ain't having nothing to do with what they look. It's just their movements was just so strange to me. So I already had that. So when I watch and think about the atrocities they fucking...
Great Debaters, that's a good one.
Yeah, Great Debaters. Rosewood. Yeah. Like, yo.
Greenleaf.
Fucking they took our skin and made chairs and boots and shit.
Belts and shit.
Yo, when I found out they was gator bait, when they slicing pregnant women and throwing it, ripping the child out of their stomach and throwing it to where the gators is at.
To catch the gators.
Yo, that shit with certain Jake will be like this evil motherfucker. So imagine when the Lord really put the spirit on us where, because you read the scriptures like happy shall thou be that throw they little ones on the stone. You right now, you like, man, I can't do no. But the Lord put that spirit on you, man. You ain't even gonna see no little baby, yo.
But the spirit that you talking about, like you were saying, when you get angry from watching those particular movies, that's just that anger that you feel. The Lord is going to intensify. He's going to amplify that on a whole other level, and He can't do that within these bodies. That's why we have to
right. You got to
because the scriptures speak about having that perfect hatred. So the Lord is going to literally perfect our hatred toward this damn devil. We're going to have the spirit to do those particular things.
Yeah,
and we're going to be made perfect. So we ain't like we doing it in wickedness. We're going to be doing it in righteousness.
Yeah, because when King David said, I hate them with a perfect hatred,
that
spirit was on him.
Come on.
I hate. Look what he's doing to his dog. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That shit makes you mad.
Yeah.
You know? Why is this motherfucker buying so much peanut?
Why does Why does he buy so much peanut? And they keep letting their dogs sleep in the bed with them. Well, when you see the dogs with the little dumbass socks and boots on, you're like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with E?
Yo, you look at the dog's eyes and shit.
Dogs, you
got a tutu.
Yeah, but a dog needs to feel the earth.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because they shit. So when you see them with them dumbass boots and socks, they can't even move correctly. You know what I mean? Because it's so foreign. And then you think that's cute. You know what I mean? Some weird shit. Oh, we at camp. What E do if E walking the dog and we at camp? He just gonna let the dog run up on. That shit happened. We just like, yo, Abaya used to snap out quick because it's happened so many times. Because this is their kingdom. Oh man, let's fuck with their shit, man. You know what I mean?
I remember that time that dog walked over the fucking well, not the fucking, but over our
Silence.
And the whole camp just stopped.
Just looked like, yeah, what are you doing, yo?
This dude.
Because you wouldn't bump into us if we was walking down the street. You wouldn't bump shoulders, but you gonna let your dumbass dog that ain't no telling what that dog been through. That dog need a damn psychiatrist too.
And that's crazy you said that though, because we was in Richmond. This was back when Karatas was still with us, and we was camping on one of their old spots. And pretty much when we was camping, it was so packed that day. It was hot. You see a whole bunch of Edomites come, and they had a fucking pig. They literally had
They had
a
a
pig
pig.
on
Yeah.
the leash, bro, and walked up to it, talk about you want to pet it. All the Edomites started coming. Oh, it's so cute. And he's like, see, look, you see this shit filled, right? And they're like, you like that shit? Like, you mean to tell me you wouldn't have a pet pit? No,
No.
no,
Fuck no.
no.
Nah, if I had a couple pigs, it'd be in the back in the barn, and I'm throwing my trash. So, because in the ancient days, that was your garbage.
That was your dog's fault. Yeah.
That garbage disposal. I'm not touching no fucking pig.
Yeah.
You know, they probably cuddling, spooning with it. You know what I mean? Weird. They weird, man. I'm so
Breeding them, doing all that
strange.
weird shit.
Oh, I got that definition for weird.
Strange, yo.
Because I love that word.
Strange. Weird.
Strictly odd or unusual,
Come on, that's E.
especially in an unsettling way.
Abnormal.
Well, unsettling way.
Yeah, unsettling.
Strange.
Yeah, unsettling. That means what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Some shit that make
Uneasy.
your stomach turn. You know how you see something that make your stomach.
Uh-huh.
That's E to me, man. The shit he does, and yo, all you gotta do is sit back and watch him. Don't let him see that you watch him. You gonna see him do some strange shit, man.
On the finger, put his
Yeah,
finger.
you just gonna see him do some. Yo,
So,
I got one. I know every Jake here has seen this shit. You go into a public restroom. Jake go handle his business, and what we do, we go to the sink. And why? E will be dropping the deuce. Come out, touch his face, look in the mirror, and walk clean out.
I'm going to give you a dap.
Yeah.
Or try to give you a pat on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Or I got another one. You first one in the bathroom. You at the stall.
Nigga, come
Listen, and you got plenty of stalls. E come in. What he want to do?
Right next to
You know what I mean? That's his spirit though. It's just unsettling, yo.
Yeah.
I left it warm for you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's unsettling, yo.
I don't piss when I sit down, bro.
It's unsettling, yo. But that's the spirit that you're seeing though. You're seeing it it's intensifying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's filth. Hey, Ciroc, you brought out Ciroc, what is that, 12 and 10? Come on, man. You just can't trust him because he's just odd.
Yeah. It got to be so it's going into him being estranged. This is on Psalms 58:3. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb.
From day one.
They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Estranged from the womb. Hold on. Salakia. Estranged from the womb.
From the
They're estranged in the womb.
yeah.
You know?
Why you think Jake probably like, man, get this weird.
Oh, wait for me.
Why you touching this shit?
Why you got your toes on?
He said, it's small in here. You big in here.
Estranged from the womb, from D1.
He
They are estranged.
Dang one, yeah.
Remember that video when we seen of that little kid from England lying about who ate the fucking cookie?
Yeah.
And she was like, a black man ate it?
Oh yeah. See?
Here you are, that fucking young, out of the spirit world,
Mm-hmm.
and
Damn, who was you in the previous? Like,
Oh,
you that little already.
false accused.
You bear false witness.
Hey,
yeah, right. Yeah,
I the one that lied
not
to
a
me
Jake's
too.
killed. You know what I'm saying? Look,
Yeah.
but this is the word estranged in the Epsilon. It says to alienate from, it says to treat as a stranger. It says foreign from without, you know.
Yeah, they foreign, all right.
So
you can speak on what you just brought out as far as the priest. So I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, I ain't really nothing. I was just wanted to show that they always been a stranger and foreign to us, you know.
And this ain't
Yeah.
you know, yes, the skin complexion is a marker, but no, we've encountered some Edomites with a darker hue. I'll say that.
That's true.
I've been around. I done worked with someone. He is not Jake, yo.
Yeah.
And because he has the little weird shit about him, you know.
Mannerism.
Mannerisms, the rhythm off, the flavor off. You know what I mean? Like, nah, he's just a
Chocolate covered eater.
yeah, man.
And you can tell because the spirit don't bear witness with our spirit.
Yeah, just nasty.
Right. You understand it now, because like our spirit will recognize it, but since he a strange, our spirit don't recognize their spirit that they coming in.
No.
They alienated, like, you know, that's why, you know, it kind of makes sense now, you know, how we got to judge the spirit.
So, and that's a good point because here it is. You could have a Edomite Jake, and they'll say some shit that Edomites will say. You know, they start talking that Mo shit fluently. You know, as if they don't have a problem with it. Now, don't get me wrong. You got Jakes who are Mo's. but they don't talk about it on the level that he talks about.
We're playing around too much.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So when you see a Jake talk about shit comfortably with him and not have a problem with it, flags go up in my head. And then the laugh. The laugh of Edomite Jake is so obvious to me because it's fake.
Edomite Jake.
Yeah, you know, Jake.
A Jake that act like an Edomite.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I understand. I was trying to.
The laugh is what do it for me because here it is. I'm looking at these Jakes and no other Jake is laughing but this one.
Right.
Over a joke, and the laugh is just fake as fuck.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, I gotta stay away from this.
Yeah. So this ain't no. I brought it out saying this ain't a color thing because you got so many Christians. I'm just saying Christians. They're trying to do these debate shows with Israelites, and the first thing they say is they Israelites hate white people, and this is no. It has nothing to do with your skin complexion. Yes, it's a predominantly overall. The so-called white man is Esau, but not in 2026. He could be any shade, any hue. Man.
Yep. And to land back on that, if I may, is we don't perpetuate the skin thing.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you, even if they have been, you know what I'm saying, to come across this video, the way we deal in life is totally different in a lot of senses. You know what I'm saying? Because you might actually run into an Edomite looking Jake, and you get along easy as fuck. Yeah, right. You know. So now what they see these other camps doing and these other camps saying, kind of throws them off from what you are saying.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now it's like, hold on a second, you're an Israelite, but you dabbing it up with him.
Hey man.
You know what I'm saying? So the dynamic fucks them up.
Like where I'm from. There's a lot of Italians, a lot of Irish.
Mm-hmm.
So back home, I'm never going to just look at a so-called white man and just assume he's a can't. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them Italian or Sicilians that's Jake. Mm-hmm. Where I'm from, you get to talk, and you're like, hold on. Mm-hmm. The spirit, you can feel the spirit is vibing, like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
They got this Jake at my plantation, bro. They got this Edomite looking Jake at my plantation. When you look at him, you don't even see Edomite.
Yeah.
You see Jake, it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
When you talk to him, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when the Edomite walk up, that's when the conversation starts becoming awkward.
Strange. Yeah.
Strange. Wicked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we don't perpetuate that skin shit.
No.
And so when you hear us say Black Hispanics and Native Americans, so-called, that is just a marker of who we're talking about, not specifically in totality.
Yeah. Because those are indicators to identify who the nations are.
That's right.
Okay, our heritage was changed, our nationalities wasn't changed, but who we call were changed. So they don't identify us as Israelites. They don't identify as Ammon or Esau and so on and so forth. Right? They have modern day terms where they call Black, Hispanics, Native Americans, Ish, Portuguese, so on and so forth. All these different nations, all these different names for it. But according to the Bible, there's only 18 nations.
18, and that's it.
18. And they lied and they called all these different things to hide themselves through these different identities, man. That's their secrecy. That's the lies that they have forged throughout the whole planet Earth.
And then you change because of wars and disputes. You like split a nation off. Their definition of what a nation is. Like think about what is that? Far Ethiopia. Mm-hmm. They the top of Ethiopia and the bottom of Ethiopia had beef and they split. Now the bottom is a retreat. So now you got something split from that. Now you got people like Nipsey Hussle. He tell you he's a retreater, but it's really Ethiopian. Mm-hmm. And then above that, what's that? Kush, right? Yeah, that's Kush. Yep. In the Bible though. Mm-hmm. But they're gonna split into all these different names. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like you said, he's gonna try to hide into all type of shit.
Because he played a part in our scattering. Yeah. Via the transatlantic slave trade, and not only is Israel scattered amongst other nations, so is Esau. Yeah. He conquered the whole world. You mean to tell me he ain't popping all these other nations and having babies and stuff? Yes, niggas doing that.
To the point where you go to South Africa, you're gonna see a whole bunch of East.
Yeah.
because they took over a
Yeah.
lot of South Africa.
Yeah.
What's her name? What's the actress? Charlize Theron. Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
She is African. Even though she's, because that's where her family's from, right there.
Yeah.
Well, the continent, I should say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he goes around everywhere, and it says it. He took, look at all the nation's names they took. You know?
Yeah.
They not the original Greeks. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, Elon Musk, from, South Africa. But,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah, I think it goes back to the Dutch,
Right.
which is Israelis.
They not, oh, sorry, not the original Greeks. They not the, yeah. Because then they push, the Samoans out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they push them out.
yeah, because when you go into the Samoan art, it's pretty. That's pretty much Jaffet. And when you go into the Samoan art, they pretty much they had it's like a real tannish color that they gave to identify like the woman. And then I believe it's the males they gave them like a real pale face.
Oh,
And
really?
it may be like vice versa, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
But I have to go back into it. But pretty much that Samoan art or Samoan art, that was just to show you like these are the true Grecians or
Yeah.
Etruscans.
Yep. Etruscans. There we go. So what, brother? You gonna spot on? I can't remember the other name. Yep. But that's what he does. He shoot, like we joke about it, but if we didn't know no better 50 years down the road, he would try to put himself as Michael Jordan on a statue.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, culture vote.
Yeah, there you go.
Bring up that scripture I for first one. So, let's go to the bird. Because that's another thing that's coming up in the world, because a lot of people seem to think that, this is only a so-called black thing. No, this is a nation thing. It's a genealogy thing.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. You camps that are leaders saying you're a black Hebrew Israelite, man, you done got in bed with Esau, yo.
Definitely.
Yeah, you got in bed with Esau. You done took that bag.
For sure.
Because we're sitting here telling you that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the other nations that bear witness with our spirits, Salakia, you are Israelites, but you still got people saying, oh, we're black Hebrew Israelites, and then you got an Ephraimite right next to you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You took a bag, man, straight up.
Yeah.
This is Jeremiah 12:9. It says, "My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird."
Come on.
The bird.
Speckled bird, meaning, you may have some dark ones, some light ones, some ones that look like Edomites, some ones that look like Moab, some that look like Japheth, some that look like
Some look like Ham.
Right. So, I mean, the nation of Israel is tainted. Well, I can't say tainted, but the nation of Israel has been scattered to the point where they're starting to, where they look like the other nations.
Mm-hmm.
And Elder Makama talks about that a lot. He talks about that a lot. That just because you look a certain nation don't mean that you are. So what I was saying earlier is that spirit of truth is starting to come out, where you're starting to see a lot of people bring out information pertaining to the Edomites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Why? Because we're in that time where the nation of Israel ain't gonna look like what these other camps are perpetuating.
Right.
And that's all prophecy though, because the Lord scattered us to preserve us, and He said at the end He's going to gather us all back together. So us being scattered and everything, it probably kept us preserved because this devil actually knew exactly who everybody was.
Yeah, should
Be
be saved.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it right there.
Yeah, because I was a part of the curses that we would be scattered amongst all nations. So we would look like the other nations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Psalms 49:11 says, "Their inward thoughts is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They called their lands after their own names.
They call their names after their own lands. I mean, their lands after their own names. And how did they do that? Via being the hammer of the whole earth, right? They took over all the resources, right? They took over all the other nations and put them in subjection and had interracial marriages, did particular different power moves, cut off people who wouldn't keep quiet or who didn't, bow down to him, but into his new world order. And then he named the lands after his own nations and then made up his story. Because the ones who's gonna live to tell the story, the ones who win the war. So they get to control the narrative of how things happen throughout history, man.
That's right.
And that's essentially what this damn devil did.
Yeah, kind of remember when there's something.
I had something else to back that too.
Shit, I remember when I was taking Western civilization in college. What they would do is they would write out, or you would read about the history of a certain nation. You would read about the Babylonians, you would read about the Grecians, you would read about the Romans, the Greco-Romans, Alexander the Great, and Octavius Augustus. You read all of this information, right? Then they would give you artifacts to match the information that you're reading about, when in fact the information was correct, but the illustration wasn't. It didn't match. You know what I'm saying? And so when they spoke about the Israelites, they didn't even call them Israelites. They called them a nation of people who are monotheistic, meaning believing in one God. I remember this plain as day when I was reading, my textbook. And the images that they had for them were not dark-skinned men. In fact, they had no images of them. So when you go through this educational system and you're reading about certain nations that did certain things, you didn't have the true depiction on what they look like.
Yeah.
And that carried on into their movie systems. They carried on from generation to generation. So now you're in a generation where truth is starting to come to light and they have a hard time believing it. What do you mean Moses wasn't some white dude with a beard? What do you mean, that, the characters of the scriptures pertaining to the prophets were not Edomite looking? You know what I'm saying? So this truth is starting to hit them hard. And it's starting to hit them into the point where they're starting to become afraid. Because they don't want to deal with the truth. You got it.
That's why, like right now, they like you was talking about in schools, how now they trying to really take away the history out of the school. Yeah, they don't even want to teach none of this stuff. Especially like in the slavery and everything. So you can only imagine like generation, like another generation later, that whole slavery, kids probably wouldn't even know about it, man. You know what I mean? They take that thing completely out.
Yeah. Yeah. Critical race theory. Elder Markham talks about this. Oh, yes, something.
Critical race theory. That's what it is.
Yeah. Elder Markham talks about this all the time. CRT. And now, being that they're destroying the library the way they did back in the day in Babylon, where
all the books.
They're burning the books down. They're getting rid of books and they're making everything digital, in the sense that it is quickly editable to give you the false information. But they don't realize that their invention is actually a tool used against them, because AI is going into the internet and is pulling up the information that they tried to hide to enlighten those who are looking for the truth about this nation, this history, that person, this, that, or the other. And it's hurting them. And it's hurting them to the point where they're starting to become angry because they're starting to realize that they've been lied to. Especially when things aren't going the way that they expected it to go with this last president. They feel lied to and they feel threatened because their we call it hegemony, is being questioned. Here it is, you have a weak nation going against the most so-called powerful nation on the face of the earth, and who has held that belt for decades, now being damn near brought to his knees by a nation that's saying, thou has now become as weak as we. You got it, brother.
I want to get this real quick. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 12. We'll read this and then jump up. It says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city by iniquity. And that's essentially what he did with Babylon the Great and any other place that he put his landmark, after his own name, man. He established it with bloodshed, lies, robbery, right? All this damn devil know how to do is take. Why? Because he is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Tick, 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 tick. When you jump up to verse 4, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. How his soul lifted up? Via his pride, man. Scriptures like in this nigga unto that eagle. Okay, what is his mascot or his main, cosign? It's an eagle. To what? To represent pride, and it's a key indicator to show us via through prophecy in the scriptures that this damn devil is the so-called white man, all right, the Edomites that the Bible speaks of that will take over the whole planet Earth and peace from the earth via with the sword.
Yeah, you read about that in the book of Obadiah. One book.
And it says, but the just shall live by faith, speaking about the Israelites. And it says, verse 5, yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, right? And cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, right? And the reason why I brought that out is because of what we brought out earlier concerning the scattering, concerning what he calls himself as the last samurai. He calls himself the Israelites. He calls himself the innocent. He calls him all these other nations, the Greeks, and so on and so forth. But who he truly is, man. Okay? He lies under different identities, man. But here you have the prophets on the scene exposing this damn devil who he truly is and showing you that he's not who he say he is, man. And you can't trust him, right? Because he is known as the wicked that the Bible speaks of. And with that being said, we know what's going to happen to the wicked, man. They're going to receive judgment tenfold, man.
Can you grab that scripture? There's that which has been. Which one?
Oh yeah, I read that earlier. Oh, that which is then, which is now.
Can you bring it out again?
Ecclesiastes.
Come on.
The spirit. It's Ecclesiastes 3:15. It says that which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been. The Most High requires that which is past.
And the reason why I bring that out is because, tell me, isn't this what's happening now that happened then? The fall of the Western Roman Empire was a gradual process of political and military disintegration, traditionally dated to 476 CE, when the Germanic leader Octavius deposed the last Western emperor, Romulus Augustulus. This event marked the end of the centralized Roman authority in the West. Although the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, continued to thrive until 1453 CE. This is what, and this, yes, I'm saying that?
No.
And this is what was happening. The collapse was driven by a combination of internal decay and external pressure. Military defeats.
Get that came invited, shall not stand.
Military defeats. The empire suffered devastating losses to Germanic tribes, including the Visigoths, who sacked Rome in 410 CE, and the Vandals, who raided in 455 CE. Economical crisis. Decades of war, inflation, and oppressive taxation depleted the treasury, while the halt in expansion cut off the supply of enslaved labor that underpinned the economy. Political instability. The empire was permanently divided in 395 CE, leading to a wealthier East and vulnerable West. Frequent civil wars and ineffective leadership further weakened central control. Barbarian migration. Pressure from the Huns forced large groups of Goths and other tribes into the Roman territory, where poor treatment led to revolts that weakened the Roman army could not suppress. Isn't that what's going on now? So the people are just ignorant of their past history,
Yeah.
which is why they destroy the books. Because the people understood what was going on then, they can see what's happening now, and although they have no control over it, they would try to do something about it at a very early stage, but they can't.
They think they learned from their past mistakes, and they're trying to maximize of what they did back then. And that's where you get the whole Renaissance. They brought back Rome all over again. They pretty much tried to perfect it. And that's essentially why Donald Trump has that campaign MAGA, because they're trying to make America great again. But that ties back to the Roman Empire when they had the Israelites in captivity and had them under subjection, just like other nations, the heavy taxation and so on and so forth, and do as thou wilt school.
Yeah, and just like Roman, remember it was saying like the poor treatment caused to revolts, and you can see that's what's the spirit that's being in America right now.
Yeah.
Or the spirit, the people rising up against the government. Well, this is Mark 3:24. It says, "And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against himself, that house cannot stand."
Yep. So this house, and this kingdom is divided, man. And this kingdom has too many different variables and too many things that's wrong with it. You got your own people telling on you and bringing out information, right?
Yeah.
Let's not forget about the Epstein files. Let's not forget about the stuff with Bill Gates and Donald Trump and all these things about the videos and all this evidence that they have. Right? They were telling on themselves, man. You know what? For political gain and power and trying to get these new positions in these power seats and so on and so forth so they can rule the world. But ultimately, man, hey, all is just showing that all you niggas are wicked.
Yep, and this next verse goes into that. It says, "And if Satan rise against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end."
Yeah, because what does the scripture say? Can two walk together, let's stay agreed.
Yeah.
You're seeing even with Charlie Clips, before you don't even know if that's real. Fucking with E, but you had certain Edomites getting the mic and going back and forth with him about the issues and this and that. You know what I mean? So you got E banging against E.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's all orchestrated because of his wickedness and his lies. Sooner or later, because he's the border of wickedness. Sooner or later, he's gonna do his own people dirty to the point where they're gonna be like, hold on. And that's what you see now, especially with the top tribe of E.
Yeah.
And you know how they say when you lie, you got to keep up with that lie.
Now you gotta keep it on.
Then it get harder and harder to keep up with, and you see that right now this devil is really losing control of this lie.
Yeah. Like I don't.
Corner.
I'm not exactly sure what you were speaking about when I came back up, but it sounded like you were talking about him taking books out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the Apocrypha number one.
Yeah.
Because if you believe in, I hate that, but if you believe in JC like you say you do, you would do your research.
Yeah.
Learn about who JC was, where he comes from, his lineage, and then you got to realize all the history pattern.
Mm-hmm.
We know the captivities we were in. We just want to skip over what happened to the Greeks in captivity.
Right.
Hold on. So you trying to tell me you go from the Old Testament and now we're just going to under Roman captivity. The Lord is here.
Whole period of time.
Hold on, there's so much missing between here. And that's them trying to cover their tracks because a lot of them did their research. Oh shit. We not who they say we is. We gonna we gonna rush, throw it behind your foot. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, right. Because when you come, and that's the spirit. Because I was just thinking about that because there was two phases of the Grecian Empire, and there were numerous phases of the Roman Empire. In other words, you have the total Grecian Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Greco-Roman Empire,
Yeah.
where the Greeks were losing power and Romans were gaining power.
Yeah.
So you also have the Greco-Roman Empire, where the Romans were gaining power, and then they had power, then they lost power again, and here they are again. So, I mean, that history is lost. The the Greco or the Greek Rome or the Greek Empire and the Greco
Roman is dead.
They don't talk about that. And Khan, it's in the Apocrypha. All they speak about is the Roman Empire, not the Greco-Roman.
I mean, it's in the New Testament as well because Yahweh Shai spoke about the Feast of Dedication.
Right.
Yep, that's so.
Right. Khan.
And where is that at? You know what I mean?
But in terms of the history of what was going on,
Yeah, subjection
is in the Apocrypha.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people like to try to debunk what was in the New Testament in terms of referring back to the Apocrypha. Man, back on what you're saying. Yahweh Shai kept the Feast of Dedication. So where do you find that?
And then for you Christians that when y'all see this little red, well, we don't subscribe to that. Well, we'll give you a King James Holy Bible.
1611.
Yeah, and that's clearly older than what pastors been passing out. So why wouldn't you want to? Once you find out there's some other books that was taken out of the scriptures, why wouldn't you want to learn that? If you truly are God-fearing and love God, right?
I bet you was missing $20 out your dead check.
You gonna go see what's up with that? You know what I mean? Hey man, I'm missing 3 hours off my check, man. What's up? You want that, right? Why you don't want the whole thing then?
Right. Oh, and that's another thing that was happening back then that you're seeing now. Bread and circus.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, to land back on what I think the brother said earlier. I think he was bringing it out, lock him up.
What's up?
Where like all of this stuff is coming out. No, Zariella was bringing out as far as the Epstein files and
Yeah.
So what are you starting to see now? Bread and circus is at a level that's beyond what it used to be. Soccer,
Damn, Knicks won the championship.
basketball. I know, right?
You ain't never seen nothing like that. Look, have you seen that happen?
No.
They still out there.
Are they?
Nah, that I mean, but it's that much pandemonium. Come on, what's going on that you don't let the Knicks win? Something going on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Yo, they said they showed the old last year's OKC one last year. They showed their parade. Look at then they showed Manhattan.
Oh, sick. I
That
didn't
shit.
see it, but I heard about it.
And he wanted to let one go right then and there. Because they said it was over 1 billion people out there.
Wow.
Yeah, if he wanted to let one go right there in Times Square, boom, it's over with. You
They
know?
probably did. Remember this shit they were doing during the
You
C19
Yeah, you never know.
in
They
the
might have
subway,
sprayed some shit.
in the subways.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And
then the soccer thing.
and what do you see in the cities a lot? On the sidewalks. You see the vents from the subways come up.
Yeah, you ain't no telling.
So as the train
Yeah,
so as the train's coming through, that pressure is
you never know.
that air up
You
out
never
of-
know. You know?
So we're not ignorant to certain stuff like
So like if you were in Times Square doing the dates of this time, when
You
you're
need
date one,
Yeah.
you need to quarantine
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have been exposed to
But
dangerous chemicals in the air.
we know we not ignorant
Expect
to
it, bro.
his devices because we know anytime there's something big, you got your plastering all over the media. He's doing something with his left hand.
Yeah,
Expect
he's doing
Something. He's doing something. You know what I mean?
Expect it, bro.
Yeah.
Look, you don't let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah, bro. Good.
You got that many people in one confined space.
That's so true.
Go ahead and let that thing go.
So, don't be surprised, like I was saying, don't be surprised when you hear on the news that those who attended this event
Yeah,
need to quarantine. Now, those people came from all over the U.S.
it's gonna be like be advised.
Y'all kind of know, and those people who went to the soccer matches.
Mm-hmm.
And they get the same character, they get the same actors. You're gonna see that one lady that be in all them damn crises. This be the same lady.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna see her behind the news. You know, the reporter. You're gonna see her right behind. Like, hold on, she was the that's another two.
She got the picture on the bus.
You know.
They're supposed to get stamped.
That's just how sloppy it is. Yeah, so
Yeah, you never seen the video of her actually getting poked up, right?
and you never heard anything else about it.
Never heard anything. They said she just died. He just got away. Did they ever lock somebody up?
Where's the fingerprint?
Yeah.
Right. Like they ain't never did nothing. You know what I mean?
It was a funeral.
Can't believe this all this shit.
You know, all these people got dead-eyed, but no funeral.
Yep.
It's crazy. So, I mean, you know, a lot of people are starting to wake up to the bullshit. They're starting to wake up to the dream that they were told that they would have that they no longer have.
Right.
They are getting very angry with seeing their country go from sugar to shit
Yeah.
right before their eyes, and there's absolutely nothing that they can do about it except do what they know best, like Hanaya was bringing up, revert back into their true nature, you
Right.
know, and they're going to do
It's
it.
sport.
And they're going to do it, and they're going to do it deliciously, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, hey, shit, you know, we win, you know, because this devil's about to come down having a great rap because he know that he don't have enough time, you know. He's seeing the chariots, you know, dealing with the earthquakes, uproars of the people. So all of these things are happening, and also it's June. The MOTB is being discussed at a very high level.
It's June.
That's right. The MOTB. Here it is. You have these other nations talking about the MOTB more than ever now. Why is that? Because we're in that time. You know?
You have something on it?
No.
This is Nahum chapter 3 and verse 1.
Fuck that.
It says, "Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not." We're the prey. Why can we not depart? Because we're getting held against our will. We are prisoners of war, POWs.
Mm-hmm.
It says, "The noise of the whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and the pranks and horses and the jumping chariots." Right, what does that represent? That represents during the time of slavery, plantation, and slavery, and so on and so forth, man. You know, represents that power of them pretty much having, you know, that having they way with us, man. You know?
Yeah. And we got to ride this thing out.
Yep.
That's simple as that. You can't get up out of here
Yep.
until the Lord comes back.
It says, the horseman lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of the slain and a great number of carcasses. Woo. And there is no end of their corpse. They stumble upon their corpse. And you've seen a lot of bloodshed, man. You've seen a lot of massacres and so on and so forth, man. What was the one massacre that they had in Tulsa, Oklahoma? What was it? Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even the only one. That's just a famous
Yeah,
one.
it's a few.
You had many different ones where them good boys hopped on them horses, burned down buildings, shot people out, trapped them in, did guerrilla warfare, all those particular things, man.
Well, I told you I've seen an interview of the last living lady in the Tulsa thing.
Yeah.
I don't even think, I bet she's still alive. She might still be alive. I don't know. But she explained she was a little kid. She said she was in the house with her family about to eat, and then the car had just bust through the door, tore the whole shit up. The kids had to get under the table. They tore the whole house up. The only thing they wouldn't touch would be the crucifixes on the walls. The crucifix, they would not touch the cross because that's a form of slavery. You know when Jake see a cross, think about that. So you're being controlled of what the story they push. You understand what I'm saying? So she said they tore she was so threw all the food, everything out the back door, everything. Because there was a lot, I guess they were like shotgun houses. You know what shotgun house is, front door here, back door here. They came in this and they threw mad shit and just tore the whole house up. You know what I mean? I just wanted to bring that up because you were speaking about this type of shit they were doing in this Black Wall Street stuff. Just imagine that you're a little kid and the little shit your family has, people just come in and destroy it for no apparent reason. You know what I mean?
Yep. And it says, continuing on, verse 4, "Because of the multitude of the whoredoms and the well-favored harlot, which is Babylon the Great, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts." And how to do that? Through the wine, man.
Mm-hmm.
Babylon has been a golden cup, that made all the earth drunken, right? Through its philosophies, its religion, the finances, the military, everything as a whole. The beast system, man. The new world order, right? Did all that to these other nations. And it says, verse 5, "Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame." And the Lord is doing that, man, slowly. You're starting to see what this devil truly is. The nations are starting to see it. And the nations are gearing up, preparing for war. Wake up the mighty men, right? Let the weak say that I'm strong. We're seeing that on a high level, man. And it's going to continue to unfold, right? Of what these capabilities that these other nations have and how they about to judge this great horde. And it says, verse 6, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile and will set thee as a gazing stock. So this is something that everyone is going to look upon like, damn. Like he says in Revelation 18, I think, the 18th chapter, standing afar off, you know, everybody's going to see how this place, America, is going to be judged in 1 hour, man, you know, with great miseries and sorrow. And then it says, and it shall come to pass that all they that looked upon thee shall flee from thee and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? When shall I seek comforters for thee? You know, and today is that modern day Nineveh.
You know, this is to land back on what you just brought up, because this is going to be the mindset of those other nations when this place is brought down. The book of Revelations, chapter 18 and verse 21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. The brother likened Nineveh to Babylon. Verse 22. And the voice of the harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpers shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found no more in thee. And the sound of the millstones should be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of the candle that shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For the merchants were the great men of the earth, for by their sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of the prophets and of the saints and of all that was slain on the earth. So when this place falls, this ideology that Babylon the Great has pushed throughout the world will be found no more at all in thee. You know, so close out those.
And this is essentially the judgment that we're waiting upon, because we know once this place has fully been judged, the elect being deemed up into the church, Yahweh God, soon, Lord willing, this year or next year, whatever the Lord sees fit, but we pray that it be soon. That's how we're going to know that it's the end. And that's when we're going to be able to sing the song of Moses, which is the song of salvation. Right? These are the things that we're yearning for, man. The other nations, the earth, the trees, all the creatures, they're yearning for the sons of power, man, the sons of God to come back in, you know what I'm saying, to rulership, man. You know, that's why we're prophesying. That's why we do the things that we do, because we want this place to burn, man. Let it burn, let it burn.
Usher.
You know,
Not even on a high note.
Hey, man. So, hey, with that, man, the water y'all watching me outside for allowing us to prophesy again the downfall of Babylon the Great, preach deliverance to the elect, okay, and edify the elect. Doing a pop down, which means face it decent, give all praise, honor, and glory to. And double honors to our apostles, our elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the full course of planet Earth. And strong shalom to you Alkim out there doing work with truth and sincerity, and risking your freedom lives to do so, man. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.
Kwame Yashala.
Yashala.